welcome to
Long and
Short.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah. We got it.
I'm Deanna.
I'm Tim. And today we have a special guest. One of our good friends.
It's actually just a disembodied laugh because they already give away who they are.
Well, they don't know. Could be Elias again. Just with a different laugh.
My name's Jim.
It's Jim!
Jim.
And by Jim, we mean Ryia.
Hi.
It's the infamous Ryia that we keep cursing out with all the OK Cupid questions.
Yeah, which is rude because I try really hard.
Yeah. But she provided a lot of good questions.
She provided many questions for us, so we were like, I guess it's only fair that you get featured.
Wow.
This is
so
a contractually obligated
It was in her
podcast
it was
episode.
in her contract.
Where's his contract? I haven't seen it yet.
It's on our pinup board over there.
Oh.
It's on a napkin. A used napkin.
That went through the wash in my laundry. That Mike left in there. That I found in the lint trap.
I said we type this up.
Okay.
Okay.
But since you're the one usually giving us the questions, we thought we'd return the favor by giving questions to you.
Oh boy.
And to us in general, but we'll be the ones providing these questions.
So, since it's the long and short of it, and our favorite thing to do is to dabble in the realm of hypotheticals. Hypotheticals?
Hypotheticals.
I'm so screwed up now because the game that we are going to play, which isn't really like a game. We're all about these fun talking icebreaker activities. So it's called hypotheticals, and it's messed up my pronunciation of the word hypothetical.
Hypothetical?
Because it's hyper because, I don't know, because they're extra. They're really extreme.
Nice.
It's Hypertheticals by Chuck Klosterman. I think is how you spell it, or Klosterman.
Check them out. They're great.
I can't even see that.
Yeah, you can buy it on Amazon.
You may want to open your eyes.
Hey, get some contacts.
Ew.
Oh.
Which have been causing me issues.
I don't like contacts. I can't touch my eye.
Oh, right. You're one of those babies.
Yeah,
I am going to be...
Wow.
I hope there's like an apocalypse where only people that can touch their eye live.
In an apocalypse, I would die anyway for more than just that reason.
Oh.
Do you mean more of like a natural selection thing? Like you can only
No.
survive?
I'm just thinking about like history repeating itself. I'd die.
Wow.
Well, since we're already on the path of dark realms.
I was just going to say, I was like, most of these that we picked were dark. Anyway.
I picked a good range. Deanna was like 99% of mine are dark, so just get ready.
No, okay. Really what happened was we divvied up what the game is it's cards. And they present hypothetical questions, but they're not questions. They're like narratives. They set the scene, and then you read them out to a group of people, and you just discuss the question that it provides to you at the end. So it's a whole deck of cards with all these different scenarios on them. So I gave Tim half, and I was like, here, pick your favorite. And then pick your favorites. We wanted to do multiple. And I did the same. And Tim picks like a few out. And I don't know if maybe it was the way we cut the deck. And I just got the ones with all the dark ones. But
totally wasn't.
Either way, Tim was like presenting all these ones, and I was like, mine are a little different. And it would be like death. And like
well, you'll see. You'll see which one. We'll play a fun game. We'll see which one I picked and which one Deanna
We'll make
picked.
Ryia do that.
Yeah.
Because since she hasn't read them, that's a good idea.
Okay.
You kind of gave away who's.
I don't think I did. Well, yeah, but you could still probably figure it out. I tried to mix it up, and we didn't even choose the darkest one that I wanted to do.
No, you didn't, but...
We should have done that one.
No, it's very sad.
Okay. It's pretty sad. We were like...
It's unnecessarily sad.
Oh.
It's just like...
An extreme.
It's supposed to be an extreme. So,
okay.
Yeah. But, do you want me to read all of them, or you want to read some?
I'll read some.
Okay. Do you want to read 3, or do you want to read 2?
I'm nervous.
I'll read 2.
Okay, I figured. Do you want to read...
In a world.
Oh, I guess we can't. Here, go ahead. Which ones do you want to pick? They're colored, too. It's really exciting. They have titles. Okay. I was just going to say, do you want to do the ones you picked? And I was like, that defeats the whole purpose of what we just set up. But it's fine. So, how we're going to do this is we're just going to read a scenario, and then we're going to debate it a little bit. Since we all kind of have varying viewpoints on things. Even though I know I always say this, and like a lot of the time Tim and I agree. I don't know what it is. Normally we are like a lot more different. But I think after almost 6 years, we kind of just mesh. But Ryia will bring something new to the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Some new
diversity.
perspectives.
Oh my god. for your diversity.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first?
You have more, so you start.
Okay, good point. Oh wait, this was supposed to be our extra one. So technically, it is 2 and 2. Oh.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll start with our favorite.
Oh, starting off.
All right.
Okay.
It's gonna be a long one, but I'll try to read quickly. So it's called Mystical Clay.
Mm-hmm.
A major earthquake occurs in California. After the damage is assessed, workers discover a strange type of clay that was exposed by the fault line. Immediately, certain workers report a bizarre sensation. Merely touching the clay gives them a euphoric, almost sexual sense of well-being. They only need to touch it once to feel great forever. Soon, thousands of people begin flocking to the clay to experience it. About 1 in 4 people feel the euphoric effect, regardless of gender, age, or nationality. The rest of the populace feel nothing at all. Scientists who study the atomic structure of the clay realize this substance could also serve as the cleanest, most completely efficient fuel ever discovered. 1 pound of clay could power all of LA for 10 years. 1 pound of clay could power all of LA for 10 years, a decade.
Gotcha.
Wow,
However,
that's 10 years.
Yeah.
Deca is 10. That's good.
I gotta convert for those people that struggle.
Anyway. I
Anyway.
don't know what a decade is.
It was a joke. This is a podcast
My god.
with jokes on it, Ryia. However, those who have been personally and spiritually affected by the clay implore the government not to pursue this avenue. They insist that using the clay as energy will destroy mankind's ability to feel joy. They cannot explain what this means, but they overwhelmingly and specifically suggest that this is literally what will happen. In fact, many of them claim they will attempt to overthrow the U.S. government if the clay is, quote, misused in any way whatsoever. So, the question is, you're in the second term of your tenure as President of the United States.
Oh my god.
The clay has no effect on you whatsoever. Would you support an initiative that allows 5% of the clay to be mined?
And used for fuel?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Actually, well,
That's what
does it just have to be for that? It doesn't say. It just says mined.
I think it's leading into the misuse terminology.
If it was just for, like, fuel, I would fully support it. Because
But that's the thing, like, you're risking people misusing it, like, I don't
and
know.
it's
If
either
any of
that
it-
or
It
this,
could become-
like,
maybe-
almost sexual feeling of joy.
Yeah, like, maybe people are using it for, like, weird pornographic reasons, and that's what they deem misuse, or maybe they're using it to make weapons that can do crazy things because of this high intense energy that they provide.
But, I mean, we were fine before everyone had this high, like, intense energy that they had.
Yeah, but they're seeming to believe that we'll no longer feel any sense of joy if we misuse any of this clay.
I don't know.
We will forget what joy is.
I mean, I already forgot what joy is, so...
Same.
I think they mean misused, like, it's no longer for the energy use, like, you're using it for anything but the energy use.
Yeah.
Because they're like, it could affect maybe
5%.
thought processes. And...
I thought they were saying misuse as in using it for energy.
Oh, I
Because
thought...
it's the people
That's
that
what
are
I
touching
thought.
it saying that it's going to be misused if it's used for energy.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so. That's
I
not how I
think
took
so.
that at all. Oh.
When we went over this is how we thought about it.
No, this is not what I thought about it. I was misspeaking then. Because
Okay.
I thought the whole point was that they wanted them to only use it for that.
No.
They didn't want them to use it for any other purpose.
They said they want to use it for energy, and then the people that touched it that were affected were like, no, don't use it for energy.
Use it
because
for
then
our joy.
Use it for joy, because then
No,
if you...
it says that it will... Wait, hold on. Sorry. However, those who have been personally and spiritually affected by the clay implore the government not to pursue this avenue.
of using it for energy.
Oh, not to pursue the avenue of using the joy of... Because, okay.
It's a long narrative.
You're saying because it's like the effect of it being used at such a grand scale will affect everyone? And
No.
No.
That the people that touched it, that get the euphoric state, say that I don't know why, but if you use this for any other reason than just touching it, then you're going to lose any sense of joy ever. aka using it for energy. That's
That
why the
would be
scientists
considered being
misused by the people that are affected by touching it.
Wow, I didn't get that at all. I still would not get this. Like, just rereading it, I still think of it the way I think of it.
The narrative follows the people that are affected, touch it, euphoric state, man, this is the greatest feeling ever.
Right.
A scientist comes along, says, hey, I wasn't affected by it, but I found that this thing can power LA for 10 years with just a pound. And they say, whoa, 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 that's the wrong way to use it.
Right.
You gotta let us keep using it for joyous reasons, because if you use it, I can't explain why, but I know that if you use it for that type of use or any other misuse, then we will cease to feel joy.
I can kind of see that now, but I feel like Mind Way is so much cooler.
We're going with the way that we thought about it.
I mean, majority rules.
I'm sorry, but, like, fuck your joy. Like, I would just use the 5%.
I would still do it. Do you want a planet to live on?
This is what I'm saying. Like, you need somewhere to live, and if you can fuel
Also,
LA for 10 years...
Some people aren't affected by it.
With
So it'll joy...
3/4 of the population.
Yeah.
Is that sadistic? That it will just ruin the other part of the population?
It's fine. Natural selection.
Only...
I mean, it's for a greater good kind of sense, too.
Yeah.
25% of the population feel it.
Yeah.
But the rest don't.
But then, I don't know if it's interpreted as, like, we will no longer feel any emotion of joy, or it's just that those people that felt that euphoric state will no longer be able to.
See, it says that will destroy mankind's ability to feel joy.
Yeah.
So it's everyone.
It's
I don't
everybody.
think it's not just the people that weren't affected. Which...
Like, we'll never be joyous ever again.
You still need a place to be
But
angry
they don't have any proof. I can't go based on these random people that touch clay and I'm supposed to believe them. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to risk a possibility of using a pound of clay to power LA for 10 years just because some crazy people who touched some clay were like, I feel good.
And trust me, you're going to stop feeling good if you use this.
I can't risk that as the president of the United States. You know how bad that would look on me?
Yeah, right.
If, like, a month later,
hippies.
they were like, oh, we just tasted the clay and it messed up our brains.
We just tasted the clay.
Like, all these people were lying. They didn't just taste it. They licked it and then it had some weird poisonous effect.
The frog.
And I'm just like, and then whatever. Then I go down in history as the president that ruined joy for everyone. Whatever. I'll die.
Forever.
There's worse things you could be known for.
Yeah. I didn't kill anyone.
But I mean, on the
You're
flip
not
side,
orange.
there are other sources of energy that we're finding are more sustainable and less dangerous than fossil fuels. It's not like it's our only option, but it is the most economical option.
And it's also incredible. 10 years? We haven't found anything in the last...
Like
that's what I'm saying.
Like
they're making the jump a lot bigger.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we still value joy and we value the people that have this unexplainable feeling that we will get rid of joy if we use this energy, if we believe them,
who needs to be happy?
I'm such a suspicious person that I would never believe them. I would just be like,
as president, you kind of can't judge it off of a feeling as opposed to hard evidence.
Yeah, I'd be like, how?
Hey, I'll just take this clay and I'll build a wall.
Yeah, and then when it rains, it just...
Oh my God,
and then it touches everyone. They're like, ah!
We feel great!
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The wall itself has now powered the universe.
Hey, what do you think our president today would choose?
Happiness, of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. You would hear the word misuse and be like, I can misuse this.
What? I can misuse clay now?
Hell yeah.
After misusing everything else, I'm still trying to figure out toilet paper. That's how I feel about our president.
That's what clay's right? Clay's toilet paper.
I showed Tim on a side tangent today. Okay. I sent him, when we're bored at work, I send him videos on Instagram, and it was this picture of a hand dryer, and it had like a no. I don't have to, but Tim like died laughing at it. It was like a picture of a hand dryer, and it said it was a sticker, and it said like no dicks. And the caption was, "Who's been putting their dick in the bald sack dryer?" And Tim saw it at lunch and was just like, "Is this real?"
Idiots.
the sticker.
Oh!
Yeah, like that the Dyson hand dryers where like
I was imagining
you put your hand down into it.
I was imagining the one that you just put your hands under.
Yeah.
No, the ones that you like. Yeah,
that is good. Oh my god.
Just like oh, come on now, guys.
Yeah.
Imagine
Someone really fed up
Tim
with
was
it.
like, "Who made this sticker?"
But like, imagine like you just walk into the bathroom and there's just some guy that's like, "Sup?"
Yeah,
Don't mind me.
Just drying myself off.
yeah. Anyway, I just thought of that because of how you were laughing. I was
Oh
like,
my god.
it's just like those little things that really get Tim.
That's so good.
I'm glad that we came to a consensus on that one.
Yeah, because I was like,
It's an interesting one. It's quite the predicament.
I mean, there's definitely someone that would be like, joy. Everyone deserves to feel joy, even though not everyone's feeling joy, but they would pick it.
Yeah.
from my end, like if I thought about it from the way I originally thought of it, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
What's this one? So if I thought about it from that way, I still would do it. My answer doesn't change.
Describe how you interpreted it.
So
again.
the way that I interpreted it was, I was like, if they did it and used it for anything but energy. So when it said
all the people that touched it were for using it for energy, but any other sort of use was misuse.
Right. So, because I read it as, which I get what you mean now, but it said, I don't know, I've thought of it, I guess I got stuck on the mining part, so I just thought they didn't want them to mine it for anything but this one purpose, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Which I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, now that I go back, it's because I got hooked on the mind part at the end and then connected it back. So, yeah, scientists who studied the atomic structure realized the substance conserves claims most completely efficient fuel. However, those who have been personally and spiritually affected by clay implore the government not to pursue this avenue. They insist on using clay. Oh, it even says they insist on using the clay as energy. I didn't read it.
Oh my god, Deanna, read!
I can't. I read it and there's still.
It's in process.
I was like, this was totally supposed to be happiness versus economy of energy.
Still would do it.
Yeah.
I agree now. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Effective. Oh, wow, that's so weird. Do you think, like, why, like, I feel like the way that it would destroy joy is, like, it's, like, almost, I imagined it as radiation.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like going
it's
out
the
in
source
such,
of joy.
it's
and
so
it,
powerful. It's just
Yeah.
consuming.
We don't naturally feel joy. It's from this clay. And if we misuse this clay for energy, it's gone.
That would actually be kind of cool.
I would still do it.
So you should turn that into a show.
Do you think it's permanent? Like, if we just use it for, like, a certain amount of time and then stop?
This is what we talked about before, where, like, if we only use a little bit of it, is that still going to destroy all of it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Maybe it's only, like, half of mankind's joy. I'm super doing it now. Now that I fully understand and can read, apparently I'm a good.
She was illiterate before. It's fine.
Apparently, I'm a good reader. I'm not a good processor.
It's fine. We love you anyway.
I just skipped. Okay, if I had just processed the clay as energy, that would have made all the difference.
Harder.
Like, I read it as that using the clay will destroy. Like, the clay will destroy man's. Not using the clay as energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Glad that we're off that now.
Cool.
Yeah.
I did it.
We're in agreement.
Yes.
One for one, baby.
Whose pick was that? Whose card?
Yeah.
I feel like that was a Tim question.
It was.
Hey! It was, because it wasn't dark.
I definitely
Like
would have picked that one
you're-
anyway, but it was under my deck.
But I feel like it was more of like a, not saying that you're not logical, but Tim is very logical, so I feel like it was one of those kind of questions.
I have logical, but I also go on the side of my instinct and like.
But Tim is very logical about like most things.
When it comes to flying versus teleporting,
I was just gonna say Tim is not logical in that regard. He's more about the experience. If it comes to like something fun, Tim will pick fun over logic.
Well, like I get that, but I just want to get there faster. So
that's what I said. But he was like, "It's about the journey and the fun, and you'll never get to do it." We don't have to have this.
And you can just fly at the speed of light. That's what teleportation is.
That's an
Boom.
option.
Boom.
I assumed that you had a standard rate of speed.
Well,
Cap
it
out at like
wasn't
50
said.
miles per hour.
It wasn't said.
Not fun.
Do I get nauseous if I'm flying?
No. Could you keep it down?
I can hear that through my headphones. Yeah. I was like, what am I picking up?
Our street is bumping. We had 4 ambulances on our street earlier. And it's always like so anticlimactic. You think there's going to be something, but it's always just like today they had 4 ambulances and a dude just walked out and they put him in the ambulance and drove away. Yeah, nothing happened. I don't know what it was. That's dumb. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm glad they're fine, but at the same time, I'm like, was this necessary?
Do you have to pay for all of those, like, ambulances?
I don't know. My thing was just, like, normally we only ever see 2 come, but this time there were 2 police cars and 2 full-size ambulances and a pickup truck. And I was like, Jesus. On what was the phone call like that they were like, we need all of this?
One for each limb.
Only for the dude to kind of stumble out and walk himself to the ambulance and get in.
Maybe he was trash.
See, I said that because we have a drunk dude on our street that kind of walks around and sings. I don't know if you've experienced him yet.
I have not.
It's a summertime thing.
It's cool. Cool guy.
So, we're going to start making a map. We have the old dude that shouts for his cat Milky Way.
Milky Way!
In the night. And then we have
Milky Way!
Drunk dude in the summer who staggers around but is harmless and goes to his house.
Oh, and then Whip Guy.
We have Whip Guy. And then we have a lot of good characters. We should start, like, Tim, you should start drawing them. Like, I'll describe them to you. I'll give them more physical characteristics, since we don't know what all of them look like.
Make a cool sitcom out of them.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Make a show.
Next one.
So, since Deanna just decided to jump into the coolest question, I'm going to go into the more intense question out of the 2 in my hand right now.
What's the title?
It is... Homeless Boulevard.
Oh, God. We talked about all of these, so us reacting to them is not giving any hint as to who chose what, because we wanted to make sure that these were...
Yeah, we sorted through good ones.
Yeah.
So it goes, you encounter a boulevard filled with homeless people, human waste, and dried blood. Ew. There are at least... I know, right? There are at least 50 people lying in the street, men, women, and teenagers. It's the middle of the summer, and none of them have bathed in weeks. A few are crackheads. Most are intoxicated. A handful are mentally insane. All are hungry and desperate. Suddenly, you are granted an incredible capability. If you have unprotected intercourse with any one of these individuals, right then and there, immediately, on the sidewalk, in public, you will end worldwide homelessness forever. Within 5 years, no one will ever be homeless again, and everyone will know it was because of your selflessness. However, if you elect not to do this, no one will ever know you had this opportunity. You will not be held accountable for choosing to do nothing. Do you do this? You can select the homeless person you will have sex with.
I'd do it.
Thank God. We're all in agreement. Tim and I were like trying really hard when we were picking these. We were like, we'll save it for the show. But then for this one, he was like, well, I won't say anything. And we just looked at each other and we were like, we know which one we're picking.
Like, there's no reason why you, like, just do it.
We were like, what, like, no matter.
You're not really losing anything.
I said the only issue would be like, I was like, it's kind of different from 2 sides of like, a woman versus a man, because like if a straight woman versus a straight man, because the straight woman, if she chooses a male, she could get pregnant. And then Tim was like, that's what I brought up, and Tim was like, okay, but like STDs, and I was like, good point, that ruins your life.
I'd rather get pregnant than...
But
you can also just pull out.
Yeah,
he said that, and I was just like, at the same time, either way, I still don't think I could have that opportunity presented to me and then been like,
hell yeah!
I didn't take
No,
it.
I could be like, no, like I'm not gonna.
If you could end, you could end that in 5 years.
Yeah.
Why not?
All of it, everywhere.
I
was like, oh my, that's terrible. So
one act.
Yeah, you know,
just be really quick.
I get the problem.
I was gonna say like the quickest 10.25 seconds of your life.
I just think you don't have to make it like a hour thing.
Google it.
Yeah, right. Take down to
Google the world record for the fastest anyone has ever had sex, and I bet you can top it.
0.25 milliseconds.
I don't know if they can really clock that, because it's probably a little ambiguous.
Go.
Yeah, who's also clocking that? I don't know.
How would you phrase this in Google?
You can't Google it because there's no way you can define it. How would you define that?
I don't
Reaching
know.
climax.
But both
male?
of you?
No, the male.
Just him? That takes sometimes literally 30 seconds. So, like...
Oh, even less.
So it's
even
like,
less.
you can't go by that.
The average, I believe, is less than 30 seconds.
This was not helpful.
I didn't think it would be.
So, yeah. I'm glad that we're all selfless people that
Yeah.
would just, like, throw ourselves out there. Especially since you can choose
You
the
can
homeless
choose,
person.
too. Like, you could...
Just pick the cleanest one.
Yeah, be like, I know you haven't bathed in weeks,
I'll hold my nose.
but,
won't breathe through my
And
mouth.
you know what I'd be like? I would be like, I'm about to end your homelessness. So,
yeah.
get cleaned up for me.
Yeah, it
Take a
doesn't say
bath
that you
really
can't
fast.
demand.
Here, I'll get you some soap.
I'm trying to think of the people we see, like, in the city.
I'm gonna bring you to the clinic real quick to just get you tested.
Because I don't want none of that.
Yeah.
Keep all those.
Real quick.
I still, like, I just
But
couldn't...
also, there are some homeless people that they're not necessarily, like, bad people.
No,
some people are
exactly.
homeless and they just, like, I lost my house even though I have a full-time job.
Right.
So,
That's even better with the choosing.
go with that person.
And it's a whole boulevard. Come on, it's a mixed bag. You got...
It's 50 people.
It's a mixed bag.
There's also, like, teenagers, which is just not cool. We are too old for that. But, like...
I was expecting babies, and they said teenagers, and I was like, well, I guess they're...
Homeless babies.
I have
I know.
sex with homeless babies.
Well, she didn't know where the question was going.
It got to that point, I was like, oh, babies, and in my head I got sad, and then you're like, teenagers, and I was like, they're fine.
They're resilient fucks.
I don't know how I could possibly say no.
You can't.
I know they said that, like, you wouldn't know. Like,
no one else
would know.
Yeah.
But I'm just like,
But
I would know.
And it'd be, like, in the back of
Every
your
homeless
mind.
person I would see, I'd be like,
I could have saved you.
I could have helped.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just,
feel
like,
so bad.
We drive by into the city every day. There's always one homeless person on the corner. And every day I'm like, I feel awful.
I feel awful, but I'm always really curious where people get their markers from.
What do you mean? You can find anything in the trash.
I know, but when people have their signs, I'm like, where'd you
Or
get
also
that
if you go
marker?
to, like, a community center.
True.
Maybe you could just borrow it.
But, like, the people that are standing outside of Walmart, I'm always just like, where'd you get that marker from?
Could have opened it in Walmart and then left it.
True. Very true. I don't know why that's always, like, my first thought, but it is.
So this isn't giving me a full-fledged number, but for the fastest male orgasm to date, it says that 6% of men on this planet are supposed to be able to reach orgasm in less than 10 seconds.
See?
25% of males are supposed to be capable of crossing the finish line, as they put it, in less than a minute.
What's the
It doesn't say
female orgasm? Because, like...
I don't know.
You know what also it doesn't specify?
10
Does it
seconds?
say I can screen them? Or do I have to pick one person at random and stick with that person? Did it say?
It says you get to select them, so I figure you would get to ask questions.
Yeah,
and,
so
like,
I'm going to sit there and be like, all right, I need you to be honest. And
Yeah.
I need to do this whole process. I can solve everything.
Yeah, right? You can fill them in and be like, look, I have this special power. But
Ew.
you gotta be honest with me
And
right
I need
now.
you to be quick.
Are you one of the 6%?
The single fastest report of a female orgasm is 2 to 5 seconds from penile insertion.
Okay.
That is a health concern.
Scripted.
That is a health
2 to 5
concern.
seconds?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, I would like to speak to
That's
a woman
like
that reaches that.
right there. Well, isn't there, on the show Strange Sex, I remember there was some girl with a...
Alright, Tim.
Okay, well...
I'm kidding.
What you do in your spare time.
My sister and I used to watch that show. It was hilarious.
You're exposing too much.
You learn a lot, man. TLC. And,
God, that channel.
yeah, right. There was a woman that had this, I guess, dysfunction in her nervous system that would make her orgasm uncontrollably, like, every few minutes.
Oh! I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I feel like
yeah.
that was an episode of Grey's.
Oh my god, I feel like that was. Grey's Anatomy for the people who...
Oh my
Grey's Anatomy is a great show. Okay.
Oh god, here we go.
Love it.
My mom will
Anyway.
agree with you.
It's a good show.
Yeah. I watched 2 episodes.
It's crazy.
I watched
I love the
It's
part
depressing.
when all the shit, it ends with them banging in the closet.
That's every show.
Exactly.
It's not every show. Mm-hmm. It has calmed down quite a bit.
They got older.
It's okay. They did. The most that has ever happened in a show for me was Sense8. It's literally just an orgy every episode.
Sense8 was way worse than Grease.
Amazing show.
It was good.
Just a lot of sex.
It was really good.
Anyway,
who do you think?
Oh yeah, who picked that one?
Picked this card.
I kind of feel like it was Deanna.
It was me. It was my card.
You got it. Yeah.
Oh God, she just knows us too well. Going around us too much.
Yeah.
All right, my card. No, not mine specifically.
My card.
The card I have in my hand.
It's the card I have in my hand. I'm going to read it and still get it wrong. I want a card.
Well, I'm going to understand this one now. That one was a little bit...
You can read my card if you want.
No.
No, it's fine.
Wow,
no.
Jesus.
You can pick...
I was like, no.
You can read our extra one.
Oh.
No, it's okay. You can read it.
Right, fucking read the card.
Artistic telekinesis. Which I kind of hate the way this card was formatted because they put a hyphen and there's no need for it.
Oh my God, just get on with the fucking narrative.
Whatever. God, if we're just going to be like, if it's going to look good, whatever. All right. Let us assume that you have the ability to telekinetically change culture while you actively experience it. Your mind can now dictate what you see and hear. For example, if you were listening to Pearl Jam's Yield and you wanted the music to be heavier, it would immediately sound as though Mike McCready's guitar had been tuned differently in the studio. If you were watching The Office on NBC and decided that Jim should marry Pam, or Karen, or both, you could make it happen. All you would need to do is think about that specific desire. You could stare at an oil painting and unconsciously change the color contrast. If a PG-13 romantic comedy grew dull, you could force it to evolve into a eroticized NC-17 thriller.
Jesus.
You could essentially write books as you read them, eliminating certain characters and redirecting plot points as they occurred in the text. However, such changes would only apply to your experience. You could kill off Han Solo at the end of Return of the Jedi, but that would not change the movie for anyone else. All other people would possess the same personal psychic powers as you. So, the question is, would you want this ability? And if this became reality, would art retain any meaning whatsoever?
Whoa, that got really deep.
I know!
Boom.
That's what we said.
Before the art part. Hell yeah, I'd do that. Because you know how many times I've been like, oh, I wish these two people in this show were together. Fuck, I can just change it.
Yeah.
See, exactly. That's exactly what we said.
Yep.
Because, we shouldn't have, we tried not to talk about it, but we at least kind of gave, our rough answers. But my thought process was I was like, well, yeah, even if you change, you could always go back. Because you have to see something happen to want to change it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I guess not all the time. Say in The Office, if you're watching it for the first time, which is me, I'm behind.
But Jim and Pam, I would have been like,
well,
you're
but that's what I'm saying.
The second
what
season.
if I was a crazy person and didn't want Jim and Pam together, and I really enjoyed Karen and Jim, which I also did not hate.
But that's just wrong.
But it is wrong. But I didn't.
It
was necessary to get to the right part.
Yes.
It was, but either way, if I was watching it for the first time and I was like, oh, I really want Karen to stay. I hadn't even gotten to the part where they broke up. Well, then I guess I wouldn't have known that they would break up. So then I would have changed the entire course of the show. So that's one issue. I think I would wait to I would probably watch something through all the way.
Yeah.
Or see, make sure I digest every part of whatever culture and art I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And then I would be I want to see. It would be almost like I was redoing it, how they keep redoing movies to be live action and stuff like that. It's a reinterpretation.
Well, that's a lot of replayability,
which is
coming back to it, fresh eyes.
Which goes into the question: would art retain any meaning whatsoever? I said absolutely not, because the whole point of art and any form of artistic media is to convey a meaning that the creator was trying to give. So wait. So my thought was even with a painting, they're trying to give it meaning that they think it should have, and you're supposed to either perceive their meaning or create your own, but that doesn't mean that you physically change what they do. you're just supposed to think of it differently, not supposed to like completely change how it looks or change how it like in a show, like how it's filmed or whatever. So like my thing is like there's always a goal set out for every creator, and if you're just changing it before you even get to like try to understand what it was for, I feel like it wouldn't have any meaning. But like, so I get that, but I feel like it could also create this new era of art. Like if everyone can kind of change different things about it. But you can't see it. I know. Meta. But it just...
Because you could influence what they may want it to be instead.
Or they can't see what you're trying to do.
They can't see it, but as an artist, if you go into a painting knowing that everyone is either going to change it or that everyone is going to have this entirely different view of your piece. This would be a whole new art movement. It's a whole new movement because you have to think about so many things.
But I feel like that's already what people do. It's like you're going into it trying to make people think in different ways. Even with, like, Dada, they were trying to make you think about nothing, like something completely meaningless.
Like, it's in different ways, but I think...
Like, how do you think they would create art differently if they knew that you would change it?
I don't know.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's what people are already trying to do currently. They're trying to make you think differently or force it to be something that you want, and it put your own meaning to it.
I think the approach would still be different because, like...
Or at least the intent behind what you're painting or filming.
Yeah. Because, like, if you think about, like, the artwork where it's, like, white square, pink square, like, what are they trying to evoke? Whereas if you go into it having all these different elements, possibly going into it being like, oh, I'm going to put all these things here so that someone can arrange it for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, just casually my contact is popping in my eye.
Yeah. So, like, if you go about it as, like, this interactive experience, then it could be entirely different than, like, Dada and stuff like that.
I guess so. I don't know.
And it could make cool films, like everybody hates when endings are up in the air. You could make your own ending because the filmmakers know that people have this capability. They could just literally be like, they walk into a sunset and something explodes. You could be like, was it them? Was it this other thing that they were supposed to explode?
But I feel like I would never have certainty with anything then, because I'm just doing myself. I feel like I would use it just to see how things could have been different, but I would never, like, I would have to see how they felt about it first. Because
I think that's what it would add to the replayability, like I was saying, where you would go through it how it's intended.
I agree with that.
And then you would go back and be like, well, how do I see this interpretation of an ending of a film? Or
I would go back and change so many endings.
Yeah.
Like Castle, I'd change the end of that show. The Americans changed the end of that show.
Change the end of Game of Thrones to be something good.
I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Well, me neither, but I'm just pandering.
The entire.
Am I right? Season 8
of the ending of the Harry Potter movies.
I knew you were gonna say that.
And by ending, I mean movies 4 through 9, 8, whatever.
And Becky and Uncle Jesse would be together. Mm-hmm. Maybe she wouldn't be on trial right now, but it's fine.
Oh, God. Oh, you're thinking about real life. You're changing art, not culture. Oh, wait, it is culture. But you're not changing celebrity lives.
No, but it can still... I don't know. It's possible.
I'm sorry. I cannot fix my contact in my eye right now as I brag about how great contacts are, and then this happens. I need a new pair. That's the problem, I think. And it's just, like, not enjoying me right now.
It never enjoys you.
Well, last week I had an issue where, like, it was blurry at work, and I didn't know why, and I didn't have a solution. So I was like, well, I guess I'm driving home with this. And I literally texted multiple people being like, I may die. I was kidding. I'm kidding. I did not say that. If anything, it would just mean that I would see things slightly less clear.
Yes.
But I would still know. Also, I drive that route every day, so.
Muscle memory, right?
All right. I guess. Yeah. Wow. Oh, that burns.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Wakes you up.
Oh, it's not fine. All right, I'm gonna go fix it. I will be right back. Oh, it burns. Enjoy.
It burns.
I'll just cut this part out.
Pip, pip, do.
Pip, pip.
Do-do-do-do-do.
And we good. Because I just put glasses on, so I wouldn't even have this issue.
Cool.
I actually really like your glasses and acknowledge that you don't wear them that often.
I wear them often enough.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Sweet.
They just make my face sweatier, which...
Perfect.
You're a
That's
sweaty
what we
human
need,
being,
more
but-
sweat.
I mean, which I honestly, that's such a stupid reason because I wear sunglasses all the time. But I just feel like I have a greater range of vision with contacts, and I would encourage everyone else to get them.
I like
If they
your glasses.
have bad enough vision. If they have bad enough vision,
Your
otherwise.
glasses are cute.
Thanks. All right.
So whose card was it?
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, whose card was the telekinesis?
Yours.
No, it was Tim's.
Okay.
That was mine.
I almost said you, but I was like, there's no way that it was Tim, Deanna, Tim. So.
Oh,
You don't know?
we just randomly picked.
Yeah, I
them.
just picked 2 random cards.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
You told me to pick the orange one, and this was the other one I just randomly picked because of the color.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
we didn't...
We also don't. You don't know if we evenly split and picked 2 versus 2 or 1 versus 3 or 3 versus 1.
You right.
Well, we did. We just split it evenly.
Maybe.
Yeah, I wanted Deanna to just pick all of the cards instead because she didn't value my opinion at all.
Wait, did I pick that one?
I don't know.
I don't remember what that one is. Go ahead.
I'll read it. You are placed in the
What?
unenviable?
Unenviable.
Unenviable.
This was my
There we
card.
go. I was like, inevitable?
I was gonna give that away because I read that word.
Yeah. Position of having to compete for the right to stay alive. You will be matched against a person of your own gender in a series of 5 events. An 800-meter run, a game of Scrabble, a 3-round boxing match, a debate over the legalization of late-term abortion, scored and officiated by reputable collegiate judges, and the math portion of the SAT. In order to survive, you must win at least 3 of these events. Your opponent will be playing for his or her life as well. However, you kind of get to pick your opponent. You can either A, compete against a person selected at random, or B, compete against someone who is exactly like you. If selected at random, the individual could be of any age or skill level. He/she might be an infant with Down syndrome, but this person might also be an academic All-American linebacker from Notre Dame. If you pick the average human, he/she will be precisely your age and will have an identical level of education. The person will be a perfect cross-section of your particular demographic. He/she will be of average height and of average weight, with a standard IQ and the most normative life experience imaginable. So, who do you select? Or perhaps more accurately, do you feel that you are better than an average version of yourself?
So,
Do I feel that I am better than the average version of myself?
meaning, are you gonna choose to go against someone who is just like you, but just like average you,
Or a rando.
or a random person? Because it's 5 events. It's a race, a debate,
Scrabble,
Scrabble, boxing, and what was the other?
I would
SAT, math.
choose the average version of myself because I know my own weaknesses.
Well, but it's also like, it's not specifically you.
I know.
It's just like someone.
It's
so
a person that's closely related to your
Right.
like
age,
range.
height,
So it could be
gender.
like us, but like it's.
There's too much of a risk going with a rando because what if I
Exactly.
accidentally get a genius and they're going to kick my ass in all of the like educational portions? Or what if I get an athlete?
Right.
So I'd rather have someone that's like around my area so that I at
They
least
can
know.
just slightly beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so then I can know what to expect because I'm like, okay, around this meter, I know I would get tired.
Well, I would just. Yeah, I would just like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like I feel like I want to go random, but at the same time, I'm not that much of a risk taker. And I feel like.
You get a baby, and you get to punch him in the face 3 times.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like if it's someone around me, it's my same, like we kind of will have like similar life experiences mostly.
Yeah.
And then like at least then from a bitter point of view, I can at least be like, well, at least it's equal. Versus, like, if I'm playing against, like, a linebacker for boxing, I'm gonna be like, this isn't fair.
Or, like, some 75-year-old man who barely walks straight and, like, has a cane.
Oh, I don't care about that if I win. I
feel bad about that. You're telling me you punch an old person in the face?
If I have to live?
Well, that's
true.
I forgot that this was like that.
I thought we were just doing it for fun.
I'm like, it's my life. They're also competing for their life. They ain't gonna have pity for you. So I at least want it to be like...
at the end of theirs, though, I'm like, I have way more life left.
Also, it's like the average of your demographic. So, like, the average height for a woman is what? 5'6"?
5'4".
Oh, it is 5'4"? Baller. I'm 5'3". So, like, then at least I feel a little bit better about myself. I'm just saying. I just know I'm gonna do well at the brain things. Not to say that I'm not...
Got the brain thing.
Not to say I am, like... Good. I love sports and, like... decently athletic.
And I'm so good at boxing.
But I am not good at boxing, and I am not good at running anymore. I used to be good at running when I was younger, but I'm like, that those two things, first off, I'm short, and I don't have the greatest, like, hand size or anything, so punching is not going to be anything. And I'm just like, I don't think I have the
surface area.
So small.
I don't think I'd have, like, good coordination or pacing for boxing. So I'm just like, they just picked the two sports that are just like...
What is it? It's boxing, running.
That's it.
SATs.
Scrabble.
Debate about abortion.
Which
I could kill in.
I was going to... of those ones?
Wow, Deanna. Real fucking nice, Deanna.
I would...
Too close.
I would do well. I'm pretty good in debates. And...
if it's something I'm passionate about, which, ask my mother, every time I go home, I harp on that, and they get tired of me talking about it. But...
exactly.
That, Scrabble, as long as it's not with Mike because he cheats, and...
wow. We call Mike out on this show so much, and he is the least likely to listen to our podcast.
It's fine. We'll all get a laugh out of it.
He did cheat.
SATs, I'm not great at, but I would be good at boxing. So, like, those three, I'm like...
I was above average for math.
Like, that's cool. She's talking about herself.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think, what part of the SATs I was, like, weaker at, and I feel like I was, like...
I did really well in reading and writing. And I took the SATs twice, and I got the same exact score for both.
Really? Mine flipped. Oh. It was weird.
I got the same score both
That's
times.
How I knew I was like, yeah, I'm not doing any better than this. I upped my math score somehow, but the reading and writing,
I think my math score also went up, but reading and writing stayed the same, and I was just kind of like...
SATs are a joke anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Did I use any of that?
No.
The other thing is that you're going up against someone that has the most normative life experience imaginable.
My life
meaning
is
that
normal.
they probably never had a math tutor or a math teacher as a parent like me, or didn't have a family that was super dedicated to track and field, so you felt obligated to go into it. And then, and then they put you into the races that you didn't want to. And
also, well, you would just do well anyway with your long legs.
Thanks.
Well, that doesn't
it also
mean
takes
anything.
endurance and muscle.
People don't know how to use their full leg span.
Yeah, but Tim does. But that's because he ran.
Exactly. See, your point.
I'm saying that you didn't, but you, like, it's not something you're going to, like, forget. So, like, even if you're out of shape, like, you'll still be, like, good enough. Better than me.
Yeah, but I'm not going up against you. I'm going up against a 5'10" male. True. I could be super scrawny. Okay. I could be, like, I could have had no track experience and not gotten these thunder thighs.
But, yeah.
Like, I could have just been a twig that has never ran in his entire life.
Yeah, that would be great for you. Sorry, the 5'10" person would be great.
Yes.
If that's what they did.
Yeah, that would have been great if you never exercised in your life, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah. Say your competitor would be great.
Yeah. So, like, you just have to think about it. Are you going to weigh the 50-50 risk, or do you think that you're just slightly better than an average person's life?
If they had an average person's life, they don't know about all those weird 2-letter words in Scrabble that we learned on New Year's Eve.
True.
So
very true. Mm-hmm. So, like, I've had anything but a normal life, so I'd be fine.
See, yeah. You just got to be abnormal, then you'll win.
I have street smarts.
I feel like I may be concerned, but I could do it.
Yeah. You could do it. Just study beforehand.
You only have to win 3 out of the 5, right?
3 out of the 5.
I think I would win all the mental things.
Yeah.
I took high math classes, so if this person's having a normal life, they probably didn't take higher math classes. So I could at least get by on that.
I took higher math classes, and that doesn't mean shit.
It does. Because there are people that take, like, lower level ones, and it ends up being, like, a repetition.
True.
So, like, at least you gain problem solving from taking higher level. So even if, like, you didn't know, you might be able to get further in the problems. Partial credit, man.
I don't remember, like, anything from AP Calc.
Neither do I.
Like,
well,
nothing.
okay, yes I do. I remember derivatives, but that's the most basic.
Derivatives.
Okay, I did like derivatives.
That's also physics.
3x plus 1. What's the derivative of 3x plus 1, Deanna?
3.
Yeah. Wow, look at that.
Maybe I don't remember derivatives.
Oh my god, Ryan! Literally, it's all about the powers.
Yeah.
So, like, if it's only to the power of 1, all constants go away because they have no power. They have no variable.
They have no power.
I like that we're talking about derivatives right now.
And then 3x is to the first, and you derive it down a power. So it's 3.
It's just 3.
Gotcha.
So if it was 3x squared is 6x.
3x. Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's just, you multiply it.
That's 2.
Anyway, that was a quick little math lesson.
So that's
for
why
you.
we would get the math SAT.
That's why I wouldn't.
Which derivatives would never be on there.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No. It's basic algebra. So actually, you know, I could get fucked because I sucked at geometry. And that's what's on there. Part
Geometry.
Of it.
You were good at calc, but you sucked at
Yeah.
geometry?
Shapes are different beast.
Geometry? No, it's not. It's not that. It was. Oh no. Well, I guess it was more pre-calc than geometry. It's pre-calc. I was bad at because it's all graphing, and I am terrible. As a person who has a visual major, I'm terrible at visual representations of math.
That's the only way I learned.
Terrible.
That's how most people do.
When people, like, I could never understand the people that needed a visual representation. I was like, just put the equation in front of me and I'll understand it. But when it wasn't the equation, I was like, I don't know what to do.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm very, like, I needed, like, the very logistical written side of it. Otherwise, I'm pretty graphic. Pretty graphic.
Otherwise, I'm pretty brutal.
Anyway, whatever. That concludes our math nerd portion.
We pick the average version of ourselves.
Yeah.
And now, Ryia, whose card was this?
Well, it was yours. You said you split it.
Yep.
Okay.
I was just saying if you remembered.
I also said in the beginning that it was mine.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Wow.
I said, oh yeah, because I said unenviable.
Yeah.
I forgot. We had a long conversation in between those two things.
That was a test. You passed.
What time are we at?
I don't know. We're at like an hour.
Oh. Do we want to do another?
Yeah, we can do one more.
All right, this one's called A Life in Film.
Oh, jeez.
For whatever the reason, 2 unauthorized movies are made about your life. The first is an independently released documentary, primarily comprised of interviews with people who know you and I said that with the wrong connotation. Primarily comprised of interviews with people who know you and bootleg footage from your actual life. Critics are describing the documentary as, quote, brutally honest and relentlessly fair. Meanwhile, Columbia TriStar has produced a big-budget biopic of your life, casting major Hollywood stars as you and all of your acquaintances. Though the movie is based on actual events, screenwriters have taken some liberties with the facts. Critics are split on the artistic merits of this fictionalized account, but audiences love it. So, which film would you be more interested in seeing?
The low-budget one.
Damn, we all agree on everything. This is why we're friends.
Because it's not, like, authentic, first of all. My life has already been, like, messed up and everything. I don't need, like, celebrities portraying people like it's just not who I am. So...
Right, is such an authentic person. See, yeah. I was, like, at least a little narcissistic, and I was like, I want to know who they cast me and my friends as. That's what Tim was saying, too. I said myself. Tim said my friends.
I thought about that. I honestly don't know who I'd be like, I want them to play me.
Oh, no, I don't care. I wouldn't...
Oprah.
If it's not Viola Davis, I don't care.
Get out of here.
I don't know who would play me. I'm so generic, so it'd be fine. But I'm just saying, like, I would just be curious who they think would be best to play me. I don't actually have a preference.
Yeah.
I think the only reason people would want to see the Hollywood version is because they know that their life is boring as fuck. Yeah. And they want to see what kind of things they stretch and how interesting they can make it.
My life is boring. Yeah. I've been told I should write a book.
There you go.
So,
cool. Do that.
But
Make it authentic. Put photos in there.
Oh, that'd be really
Put
cute.
QR codes of like videos from your childhood in there.
Tim, would you like to say what you thought? Why you also would want to pick the independent one? Do you remember what you said?
I don't remember what I said. But...
He was like, I want to know what my friends would say about me.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was like, true.
Yeah.
Like, I also,
Good
and I was
point,
like, don't
good
you think
point.
they would fib a little? And he's like, I don't care. I was like, they probably put on a show because they know they're being interviewed.
Nah, I'd be perfectly honest. Well,
See?
Well, wait, I don't know.
You just
Would you
wouldn't
be
wanna
entirely honest?
You just
How much would
wouldn't
you
reveal.
divulge?
You wouldn't reveal too much.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wouldn't reveal too much, no, but I
You're
would
like,
be,
oh my
I think I'd be
God.
pretty honest.
Yeah.
So
I
like,
would answer the questions that they propose truthfully, as long as it doesn't get into some uncharted territory.
see, I feel like if people asked me, like, what do I think of them? Like, I would be like, oh yeah, they're really great. Like, I didn't know them too well. Or, like, I would,
I fucking hate them.
yeah. See, like, I would gloss over it definitely.
No, I would be honest. If it's a documentary and I knew like a lot of people were gonna potentially see it,
Yeah, I would try to be as honest as possible.
Yeah.
I would be honest
I
about
would-
the
I'd
stories
go
that
like,
I would
hell yeah.
tell. But, like, my overall opinion, I wouldn't be like, I didn't care for them. I would never say that.
But these are your friends.
yeah, this is about your friend.
I know, but I'm saying, like, I wouldn't list, like, it says people who know you. Comprised of interviews with people who know you. Does
Do
not
I
say your
have,
friends.
like, jurisdiction over, like, the
Who you-
category of people who know me?
No. It just says the first is an independently released documentary primarily comprised of interviews with people who know you and bootleg footage from your actual life.
Alright.
It would be nice and juicy if you got some people that were acquaintances that were like, I only talked to them once and they're assholes.
Yeah, I would still
Yeah.
want to know. I'm not saying that wouldn't. I'm just saying, like,
But I'm saying I would totally be that person.
Like, I don't really know him. I talked to him once in the hallway. Like, that was...
See, I
I
don't
would-
think
I would give my honest
I don't know
first
if
impression.
I would.
I'd be like, they
Oh,
got.
I would do that. I would give my honest first impression, but, like, if I knew that, like, say it was someone you went to school with for years,
Yeah.
and, like, you didn't really care for them, but, like, they're not bad, and like, you didn't know enough about them, I feel like I wouldn't be, like, I would be honest to a degree, but I wouldn't want to make the, like, I'd feel like I'd be mean, so I wouldn't want to be,
Well,
I wouldn't
it
want to be,
depends
like,
on your impression of them.
yeah, but
If
I just
you-
would feel
if
bad
you were
being like, oh, I
lukewarm-
thought they were a jerk, and then it switches to someone who was like, they're the greatest person. Like, I'd be like, oh, well, I didn't know them well, so.
Yeah, like,
That's
I
why
wasn't
you're
that-
brutally honest, where you're like, I've only had 2 interactions with them, and honestly, they were assholes.
Yeah. Like,
Because we were in a group project, and
Right.
I did all the work. Or something.
Wow, story of my life. Wow,
Yeah.
you really
Or
hit that
I
nail on
caught
the
him
head.
on
Yeah,
the
see?
ba-
Relatable content.
Mhm.
I caught him on a bad day, and, I mean, we've been
I
in
guess
school
that's true.
together for, like, a few years, but, like, that was...
I wouldn't just come out and be like, I don't know him, he's a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Because then that paints
that's how
me
I'm
in a bad
imagining.
light. I would just be like,
Ah.
I've only had bad impressions of that dude. He tried taking my son out to the back of Dunkin' Donuts to smoke with all of his camouflage friends.
Oh,
That's what I call Hicks. Camouflage friends.
nice backwoods New Hampshire.
Yeah. You can't see them, you only see trucks because they're all wearing camouflage.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I feel like, who do you think, like, in your life that people would interview? If they're like,
So they would interview
this
you?
seems kind of stalkery because it's like bootleg footage of your life, but like whatever. And do you
How'd you get this?
like who do you think they would find to interview?
My friends.
I would say I feel like they'd have to interview your mom, your sister, Tyrus, Thomas, Deanna,
Oh, they gotta interview me.
me.
I feel like they would try to track
John.
down, like, every milestone of friends.
Mm-hmm.
And, like,
Maybe some.
I had, like, childhood friends that I've just, like, fallen out of touch with for one reason or another. If they track them down and been like,
I feel
your
like
interactions
Well,
with
how
them.
long have you
And
known Tyrus?
I've known
High school.
Tyrus since high school.
Oh.
For, like, 9 years.
I thought you two knew each other since you were like nuggets.
oh my god,
No.
9 years. Whew, kill me.
No, but I had a friend named David who I was literally friends with since I was a wee lad. And then he moved to Colorado, so we just kind of, like, fell out of touch then. But we were, like, super close.
Oh, he definitely contacted him.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so it'd be, like, super cool to, like, hear them be like, oh, what your relationship like with him? How was it? And then be like, oh, it was super good. I really wish I could connect with them and stuff. Because it'd be nice to hear.
yeah,
That's true.
I
and
think
stuff.
like
Well, we were 5, and
We were 5. He kicked me off the swing, that little shit. But I love him. I love him so much.
I feel like they would contact like my milestone friends when I was like in good old Catholic school.
Oh my god, I would love to hear stories about little Catholic Deanna.
Oh my god, I told you about something.
I know, but from
Didn't
the
I tell you
point
about
of view of other people.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you about how I peed myself in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Haven't we all?
No.
Oh.
In front of a nun that wouldn't let you go to the bathroom.
No.
Shout out to what was her name? I forget what her name was.
It's okay.
Sister
It's
something.
fine.
Whatever.
I feel like they would have to interview like definitely not my whole family, but like immediate family.
Yeah.
And then you guys.
Oh, they'd have to interview my whole family. At least my whole mom's side of the family. That was a big part of my growing up.
That makes sense. My like group of friends from high school, and then like the kids that I grew up with in our neighborhood. And I feel like we'd be solid.
I'd also like to see acquaintances from like college and high school, and then also like bosses from previous jobs that you worked.
Yeah.
See,
that definitely would be. I think they would definitely take our entire architecture program. Oh, fun fact. Probably should have introduced that. Ryia is also in architecture with us. Shocker.
Woo!
Okay, I'm putting that in the beginning.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
We like totally just didn't give her any intro other than that she finds us OK Cupid Questions. Like we're just whoring her out for questions.
Pouring her out for questions.
Yeah.
We are.
Well, yeah. I feel like I would. They'd probably have to get our entire architecture program because we all know each other.
Yeah.
Even
That's
some
a
of our
long documentary.
Yeah. Well, like not
It could be
not
quick
entire.
interviews.
I just mean like they would have to like source from that pool, as I would say.
Past
That
professors.
cesspool.
Maybe like a professor to someone from a professor from high school.
Oh, I
Yeah.
already have teachers picked out.
That one gas attendant. No, I'm just kidding. Oh wait,
Oh
some
yeah, it
people
could
don't
be
have
like
those.
it could also
Yeah,
be
Jersey.
like places in your hometown that you just frequent a
Yeah.
lot, so they just know you.
No one really knows me, but
When I
didn't
was
frequent enough
younger,
places.
people knew me.
Do you think that lady in Italy that we used to frequent for pizza would speak up
I
for
mean
us?
that I frequented for pizza all the time.
I would tag along, and I remembered her. She didn't remember me, but it's okay. I just meant like you.
Oh, the little
Yeah.
old lady that lived across from us when we were in Italy, who yelled at us all the time.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Tiziano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not the old lady. That's
No,
a
I was just
fresco
thinking
I
professor.
would say we don't know the old lady's name. She just was very angry every time we ate dinner.
Our favorite person in Italy was our frescoes professor,
Hell yeah.
and I think he would speak on our behalf.
Not me. I wasn't in frescoes.
It's okay. Trying to think, like, who do you think would be, like, so interesting that, like, you would... I guess, like, I think I would find the most interesting people I wouldn't expect to be in it.
Yeah.
I would say people that
Like,
knew you a lot at a certain point in your life,
Mm-hmm.
but you haven't been in touch with since then. And you've gone through, like, a lot of process of growth.
I hope they would ask like what their first impression was, because I know a lot of you guys, every time we talk about first impressions, everyone's like, "Oh, like you were just really quiet."
About you?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I like wonder.
No one says that about me.
Well, no, you're loud.
I wonder why.
Every story I've ever heard about me goes, I overheard you talking and really loudly and thought you were funny, so I became friends with you, and I was like,
Yeah.
cool, that worked out for me.
But I like want to know, like, for me, if like I've always been that quiet kid, or if there was just like, oh, you were being weird one day, and like,
I don't think I ever said you were quiet.
I had a lot of people told me that they were just like, you were just kind of there.
That's not why I became friends with you. Or, like, what, like, that wasn't my first impression of you.
What was your first impression? Was I asleep in a class?
No, my
Yes.
first impression of you was that you really hated our professor for structures. That was my first impression of you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because she, like, hated that class and never put in, like, any time. Like, you were like, I am in and out as soon as I can.
That's because I hated him.
Yeah. that was, like, pretty much all I remember. And then my second impression, like, anything that stuck out to me. And then my second impression would have been, like, in Italy. I've been like, this girl's really upset about who she has to live with.
Yikes.
Could you blame me?
No.
But, no, I think my first impression of you... Yeah, I overheard you saying something stupid to Tom, because that was when you had Andrea and I had no.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And then you two together...
Are the loudest people in studio?
No, but you two specifically, I just remember seeing you two walk everywhere together. Oh my god. I was
Oh,
trying...
me and Tim.
Yeah.
I thought you meant me and Tom. I was like, yeah, we're really
But
close.
side note, I was trying to get... We were telling John O'Keefe that you look
Name
like
drop full.
Nate.
Yeah.
And...
Oh, yeah.
And he
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
"Who's Tim?" And I'm like, you know Deanna, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you know the tall kid that she's always with?
John
and he goes,
also
like,
talks to me. What the hell?
I know, I was just gonna say.
And I was like, he's a tall kid that's like always with her sometimes. And he's like, oh yeah, I know who that is. And I'm like, okay, so. But
Oh my
that's
god,
like,
for once, I'm the person being recognized. In 6 years of me and Tim being friends, I am the short girl that walks with Tim. And now, for once, I get to be the other opposite way. Also, John is a professor at our school.
but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That was funny. But like, I just remember, like
That's
always
awesome.
seeing you guys together, and then it was always like, are they friends? Are they dating? Like, who are they? Like, I remember that
Story of our lives.
because Anna would always ask, and I'm like, I don't know.
We were never asked directly. We just always, I at least always knew because people would ask me actually.
Really?
Yeah,
No one
I would
ever
be-
asked you?
No one ever asked him. I would always.
I was too tall and intimidating to ask.
Yeah, with his face.
What did you say?
I wasn't always asked.
As I bend my neck down.
I think in 6 years I got asked like twice.
Oh.
But I was like, you could feel like there are those people
Yeah.
that would like,
Stare for a little too
yeah,
long.
they have like
Yeah.
that pressure, and
And
I'd be like, whee, stop.
Like, I remember we would have lunch in Commons, and we'd see you walk up the diagonal path, and then Anna
Commons
would be
ladies.
like,
Yeah.
oh my god, are they dating? And I'm like, I don't know, I don't think so. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, I don't know, I don't talk to them yet.
Yeah.
I will in the future.
The ladies at Commons, the cafeteria ladies,
Yeah.
they would definitely speak on our behalf.
Liz.
They'd be like, they were always so polite to us when they would get their potatoes.
They get the potatoes.
Yeah.
So specific.
I'm so interested. Now I want someone to make a biopic about my life.
Yeah.
Just, even if it's not interesting, I don't care. I just want to know.
Just write a book.
That's what? That's an autobiography. I want to hear about a biography. I want
Have
someone else to do it.
write your book. That'd be
That's a
fun.
biography.
I know.
You just defined it.
My God.
It would be amazing for me and Tim because, like, what we would say about each other would be so absurd. And, like, we would purposely make it
This
absurd.
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Tim would be like, oh my god, I've never met anyone who smells more. And I've never regretted
I'd be
anything.
like, man, I've never had the problem where someone was just talking at me too much.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. You definitely you'd be like,
I'd be like, I've never experienced a moment in my life where the majority of my day has been filled with noise.
yeah.
Oh my god.
It's literally true. Like, Tim knows when something's wrong if I haven't spent more than, like, 10 minutes talking.
Well, yeah, you get quiet when something's wrong, and everyone's like, what's wrong with Deanna?
Something's
Oh, sometimes I'm just tired.
Yeah, but when you're never
car.
that quiet.
Yeah.
Like, in general, if you're quiet.
If I'm
like,
quiet, it's because I'm
something's
stressed
wrong.
out about something.
Well, that still counts
But
as
that's why
something
it's like,
wrong.
but like Tim has become so accustomed to the noise that like when it's not, he's like, there is a disturbance, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I get that, 'cause that's how I felt when we lived
You-
together. If you were really quiet, I'm like, this is weird.
You know that feeling of a gnat in your ear and you just can't get it out? That's what it's like.
Or like, if I come back to the room, like that semester I didn't have studio, and you weren't there, I'm like, oh, well, it's too quiet.
Yeah.
This
I
is weird.
feel a void, and that void is any open space.
Yeah.
It's her presence and her voice just goes into every nook and cranny.
I make it loud. It's a great noise. A great noise. Great. Great phrase. Tim can be loud. He just
I
has
say
it
that.
in he does it in bursts.
I'm like the in-between of you two. I can be loud. I can be very quiet.
Yeah.
I was in an environment where I was allowed to be loud.
That sounds like you were in a cage.
Yeah.
Like
I
11 in
was.
Stranger
I
Things.
was in an emotional cage brought on by my sister.
Oh.
Yeah. Thanks, Mel. Just kidding.
My family is very loud except for my father. So.
My family is loud too, but like sometimes I just get in like those spaces where I'm like, alright, I need things to be quiet. And then, if I'm by myself all day, let me be around somebody for like 10 minutes. I would talk your face off.
Yeah.
That's how you can tell if I've been by myself all day.
Yeah. Tim has learned that when he leaves for more than 24 hours.
I can't have a thought. There's no space in my mind for my own thought.
He comes back, and I'm like, oh, I have 70...
Tim, you've been gone for 72 hours. A whole month's worth of
I
shit
was
just happened. And
I'm like
what?
Literally, like, Tim was gone for a week, and I'm like, well, I have 2 weeks worth of info to tell you. And he'd be like, but I was here for 2 weeks. And I'm just like, nope, we're talking for the next 72 hours.
I said, you came back, and I was like, ah, sweet. And then she started talking, and I was like, I heard all these stories already.
Yeah, but he had to know, because
the
problem is, if Tim doesn't know my life, then I bring things up later, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, well, now I gotta backtrack 3 months. So it's like...
That's not the issue.
So I just gotta
the issue is that you have to tell everyone.
Yeah. I gotta tell the main people.
Yeah.
I only tell you two the main things.
And you waste 0 time.
Yeah.
I get right back, and you're like, walking through the door, and you're like, all right, we're starting now.
Yeah.
While you're unpacking, just have some open ears.
It keeps you entertained.
Like,
and also...
I can't say anything, so I did the same thing to you in the car.
I mean, that's fine. You're different. Like, you have a different inflection, a different sentence structure. Like, you have a much more unpredictable storytelling sequence. Like, with Deanna, I'm like, she's going to start talking like this, and then like this.
Yeah,
and then she's going to go into something like... But then she's going to go on a side tangent, and then she'll come back. Wait, is that really how it went? Oh, wait, no, it was like this. And then I'm going to go back to this.
Yeah.
I'm going to start on Monday, go to Wednesday, jump back to Tuesday, and then go to Saturday, and then come back.
Yeah.
It's like when... Take Michael Bay, for example. Mm-hmm. All of his movies have crazy explosions in them, so you know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's just a different movie. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they're going to have explosions. Transformers, it's a different concept, but you know there's going to be explosions. It's the same thing. So,
I'm okay with that.
You know, I know the flow of your storytelling, it's just the topic at hand is what changes. And I'm like, okay, well...
But it's all juicy. Tim one time told me, he was like, man...
Juicy.
Like... What you experience in 3 hours, I don't experience for 3 days. Like, he's like, you have so much that goes on somehow in, like, such a short amount of time that I couldn't even, like, think of enough to talk about to tell you that. Like, I don't have enough of that kind of experience. And I'm like, but it's an actual, like, thing that I'm telling you. It's not, like, and he's like, no, you have real events. I just don't know how it happens to you in such a condensed amount of time. And then, like, the reason I tell you so quickly is because, as both of you know, I will forget. And then you're just going to have to hear about it months later.
I'm going to say, I let you sit through stories that I've already heard, like, multiple times, and then later I'm like, yeah, you already told me that. And you're like, well, why didn't you tell me?
You've also done that to me, and I have told you that.
I know, but I sit through the difference.
I interrupt you.
I always say, I'll be in the first sentence, and you're like, you already told me this. Whereas I'm like, I'll let her tell me the story, but I'll tell her after that I already knew.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is that I've also made mention at the fact that we can have the same story, and one will be 2 seconds, and one will be 3 hours.
That's the whole point of this podcast. Like, this is what inspired this podcast.
This is how it started. I can sum up a whole week of plans and be like, this is what I did. It was a lot of fun. Deanna will be like, let me just give you an insight on every feeling I had. Every millisecond. Time stamped. This is what I was smelling. This is what I was feeling. This is what I was seeing. This is who I was talking to about the same thing I'm telling you now.
Yeah. That's like, literally what inspired this podcast, is because I was like, I could talk forever.
It's a talent. It's a storytelling talent. I just
swear.
Get it out of there. I'm way more introspective. I just internalize things, but Deanna's just like,
yeah,
I gotta get it out there.
I also try to, like, rip it out of Tim. I'll be like, how was it? And he'll be like, good. And I'm like, what'd you do? And he'll be like, I did these 3 things. And I'm like, all right. And then, like, this. And then he'll go off a little bit more. But I gotta be like, I'm nosy. Please tell me.
Well, I'll give, like, the outline.
Yeah.
But you're asking for the 10-page essay where you have to, like, rephrase.
I want to feel it. I want to know the excitement.
Oh, God, that's messed up.
Yeah. That's not what I meant.
I got stabbed. I want to feel it. All right.
I meant,
give me a knife.
if we were like really excited about where you went, I want to be like, oh, nice, I was there.
She wants you to share the level of detail that she goes into when she just had like a really good meal, and she's like really excited about it, and she's like, ugh, that sauce.
It's not me. I can do it sometimes if I'm really passionate, but that's just not how I roll.
Yeah.
Still by far one of my favorite times was when we had dinner, and your reaction was great.
I had the best meal of my life in New York City at Italy. Highly recommend that every single person on this planet.
Why are you saying Italy weird?
God, it's called Italy, Eataly, I think.
Like, the reaction lasted from, like, first bite, not even first bite, like, the smell, to, like, 3 days later, you're like, oh, it's still one of the best meals.
I'm still talking about it, like, a month later. I think I couldn't, there was only probably, like, one time in my life that I was happier than that moment. And it was, like, in Italy.
I was, like, Florence?
I was, like, literal Italy, not Italy. Ooh. Tim got some good news.
I'll tell you later.
Ooh.
Tetsuo messaged me.
Oh, even better!
Oh.
Oh my god. Hey.
I love him.
Anyway, that was a nice side tangent about who we are as people and why I'm super annoying.
It's not annoying.
No,
it's just that, like, we all have different noise
style.
levels.
Yeah.
So we're all just like...
Yeah, we filled out the time.
I knew we would.
Knowing me.
Knowing me.
I could drag it out another 40 minutes.
But yeah, so that was the...
That was the game.
The game Hypotheticals. We'll probably bring it back.
Hypotheticals.
If you have any suggestions
That's our
for
jingle.
any type of thought-provoking game either. Man, I don't know when to... Okay. This is also my life with these two, because they're both musical, so they just
Hypotheticals!
go... Okay, wow, nailed it. Anyway, if you have any suggestions for any other thought-provoking games, let us know, because...
Or don't.
Or
Because
don't.
we have them all. And we're awesome.
It's our brain.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's a lot of fun. We like deliberating.
Yeah.
We're weird.
There's also way more of these cards, too.
Yes, we are.
So we'll bring them back.
So you said you'll burn them back?
We'll burn them back.
There's 50, and we went through 5.
Yeah. 10th of the way there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you think we were super wrong on any of these...
Then you're wrong.
Yeah, but you could also tell us. And be
Drop
like,
a comment.
Our opinion is objectively correct.
Yeah. We like having guests on, too, because for things like these, because we like hearing someone's opinions but our own.
Yeah. I like hearing someone else's voice than Deanna's.
Yeah, sometimes.
My voice is just so soothing. Just kidding, it's not.
Well, the first time I saw you was... I forgot that I didn't explain this story while we were talking about it, but it just made me think of
your
it.
impression?
Yeah, I forget who you were walking with. It was probably Rachel or something.
Probably.
But you guys, I think, were walking to Commons, and I was walking out of Commons. And I don't remember what you guys were talking about. All I just remember was your laugh, and I was like, she has a really nice laugh.
Wow, that's so cute.
Yeah. And then I saw that you, like, sat next to Val in studio, and I was like, nice. I should say hi sometime. And then, you know, it didn't happen until really, like, after Structures.
Wow, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Right?
The cutest story I've ever heard
I'ma cry.
was... it wasn't even a...
Second episode of the GuestPod.
It's literally just me liking plays on word. What?
Words on play. Plays on word.
Play on words.
Plays on word. I also plays on word.
I also do plays on word. You plays on word?
Remember
I
when
plays on word.
Remember I said I like to talk?
I like word games. I like them games where you got the words.
That's Scrabble.